At this stage of my career, I have remote tuned probably thousands of cars at this point over the last 7 to 8 years. And there is definitely a trend when it comes to the customers that have a really easy and successful time versus the ones that tend to struggle and get frustrated. So I thought it'd be awesome to make a video going over what I think are the three key things for a successful remote tune.
Great success.
Number one, biggest one, communication. Cannot say this enough. Know your vehicle. That's honestly probably the biggest piece. I can only do as much as I'm being told. So the more you can supply me with, the better the initial tune is going to be. I need to know your injectors. I need to know your map sensor. I need to know what camshaft you're running. If the compression of the vehicle has changed, I need to know that. If you're running ethanol versus 93, just anything, right? Every little minuscule thing that you think may not be important, add it in there. I've had some customers that include their suspension modifications. Though that really has nothing to do with tuning, it at least lets me know that they're committed to getting me all the information that they can to ensure that we get the vehicle done properly. The other would be being proficient in email. Communication is going to be the biggest piece of the remote tuning process, and email is a big part of that. You're going to have to be able to communicate through email, very basic stuff, uploading logs, sending me your read file. But then also another big part of it is relaying what you're feeling when you're data logging the vehicle, right? This ties back into why I kind of think remote tuning sometimes can be better than dyno tuning. I might look at a log and, per fueling and timing and things of that nature, everything looks great, but maybe you think the trans shift 500 RPMs higher in first gear than you want it to, or maybe it's shifting too soon, or maybe you feel like the idle is too high or too low. These are all great things to bring up to where I can try to get the vehicle dialed into how you would like it to drive. Number two, ensuring that the vehicle is mechanically sound. It is crazy how much us as tuners talk about the day to day of just helping troubleshoot mechanical issues. I would say that out of 100% of customers, probably 70 to 80% of them, I in some way, shape, or form have helped troubleshoot mechanical issues. Now, I have no issue doing that. I know it's part of the job, but at the same time, no one wants to feel like you're somebody's virtual mechanic. We're paid to tune. That's really what we're there for. So just please be mindful of that. If you're a do-it-yourselfer, just double down over your car. Make sure everything's torqued to spec. Make sure fuel injectors are, nice and snug in the rail, and just double down over everything. You'd be shocked at how much smoother tuning goes when everything's installed correctly the first time. It's also a major safety concern. You're dealing with fuel systems, you're dealing with brakes, drivetrain, things that, if they're not done correct, could cause major issues. We really want to go over the car and make sure that the car is 100% ready to go before we start any type of tuning on it. And lastly, having fresh fuel. If the car's been sitting for a while, you really should be trying to get out all the old fuel and getting fresh fuel in it. And the same thing can be said if you're switching over from a gasoline based fuel to something like ethanol. We're going to want whatever fuel that you're going to be tuning on in the tank when we're ready to fire the vehicle up. Okay, number three, last but not least, is being able to follow directions.
Damn it, why won't it read?
As funny as that sounds, it can become quite frustrating when you're working with people that just can't follow what you say, nothing more, nothing less. So, for instance, a data log. I only need whatever I request in the email for a data log. I don't want you going out on your first tune and doing 60 to 130 mile per hour pulls.
Shut up!
That's nowhere close to where we're going to be. So that's the first just simple thing about following directions is just do what I'm requesting in the email, nothing more, nothing less. Next would be actually reading and following the instructions I provide. I understand that the RTD and TDN setup can be a little tedious for people. Even myself, when I first got them, I'm not going to lie, I absolutely hated them. I was like, oh, this is the worst thing ever. But when I actually was like, you know what? I'm going to go out to my car. I'm going to follow the instructions as they are and just step by step. It went through easy as can be. So I'm actually now becoming a pretty big fan of them. The biggest issue I have is that I just cannot get a good amount of customers to truly follow the provided instructions. You have to understand there's one of me and many of you. It would be unrealistic to think that I could sit on a phone and walk you through how to set up an entire TDN app or set up your RTD device. That is what the instructions are for. Now, again, I don't mind helping where I need to, but that's once we've exhausted the starting resources of the instructions. Lastly, accepting that email is going to be the main form of communication. I know in today's world, everyone wants instant answers. Trust me, I get that. And I think any customer can attest that when needed, I will 100% get on the phone. I think I'm very reachable when it comes to being able to talk with me directly. But at the same time, it would be unrealistic to think that everything needs a phone call or a direct text message. I can't track customers that way. Having everything in email form helps me make sure no one's overlooked and that everyone gets responded to in a timely manner. So there it is. That's the three main things. You follow those, we will have the greatest remote tuning session in history, and your vehicle will run awesome. Thanks.